In the darkness of your bedroom, the only thing illuminating your face is the grayish-blue light casting from a few inches of tempered glass. You scroll, you tap, you download, you caress that screen more than any other living creature in this world. We always harbor an arrogant illusion that the phone is merely a tool, that the screen is a one-way door where you can stand from the safety of your room to look out at the vast digital world out there. You master it. When you are bored, you turn off the screen. The door closes. Everything ends. But the SCP Foundation realized a cruel, belated, and bloody truth. There is no door in this world that only opens from one side. When you stare into that endless digital void, that void is also staring back at you. And sometimes, something from beneath the abyss of binary codes decides it won't stay put anymore. It wants to climb through the glass veil. It wants to step into your world. Not through the front door, but through the very cracks in your mind. Today, we will open the file on SCP-1471. No giant monsters. No fire-breathing demons. The most perfect predator in this era is the one you voluntarily install on your own device. Welcome to MalO, the app with no uninstall button. If you read the containment procedures for SCP-1471, you won't feel the Foundation's usual authority. You will smell the stench of panic. They cannot lock this thing in a lead-lined underground bunker. They cannot use guns to shoot it. SCP-1471 is a 8-megabyte mobile application named MalO version 1. The SCP Foundation had to mobilize their most elite cybersecurity task forces just to do one thing: block, delete, and confiscate. They rummage through online app stores, inject malware to neutralize it, seize the phones of those who accidentally downloaded it, strip out their batteries, and bury them. But it is like trying to stop a flood with bare hands. No one knows who programmed MalO. It bypasses all censorship barriers of app stores. It spreads without following any physical laws. The Foundation's containment procedure is not a solution. It is merely the act of using a rag to wipe away the blood seeping from an unstaunchable wound. So what is MalO? It is advertised with a simple description, striking right at the fatal weakness of modern humans. You will never have to be alone again. There is no developer icon, no reviews, just a crude interface. When you download it, the app doesn't seem to work. No interface opens up. But from that moment, the countdown to madness begins. You will start receiving photos sent via text message, once every 3 to 6 hours. Those photos aren't random internet junk. They are photos of you, in places you have just been. And in the background of those photos, there is always something following you. The Foundation calls it SCP-1471-A. It possesses a grotesque figure, a blasphemous patchwork of biology and shadows, a tall humanoid body, covered in thick, matted black hair like a drowned corpse. But its face is the skull of a canine, stark white, entirely devoid of flesh and skin. In those two empty eye sockets, there are no eyeballs, but you know for certain that it is drilling deep into your soul. The edges of its skeletal jaw are always agape, as if wearing an eternal, frozen smile. It has no mass. It emits no heat. It is not matter. The horror of SCP-1471 doesn't lie in it reaching out from the screen to strangle you. It is terrifying because of its gradual infection process. It uses electronic devices as a bridge to acclimate to your perception. When your brain begins to accept the existence of that wolf skull in the photos, crosses the fence, it transitions from the digital world into your real world. The Foundation has recorded thousands of victims. No one was physically harmed, but almost all of them committed suicide or were institutionalized in psychiatric asylums with shattered minds. And now, let me tell you how the process of you being devoured by it will unfold. Now put your phone down, close your eyes, and imagine you are one of the tens of thousands of MalO's victims. Initially, you downloaded it purely out of curiosity or perhaps due to a moment of weakness on a lonely night. Day 1, the app sends you a photo. The scene in the picture is the coffee shop you were just sitting in an hour ago. But in the corner of the frame, hidden in the shadows, is that stark white canine skull poking out. It is watching you, At the 48-hour mark, the phone buzzes again. This time, the photo was taken right in the living room where you are currently sitting. From the camera's perspective, MalO is standing right behind your sofa. You jolt in panic and snap around. There's nothing, only the familiar darkness of the house. But the freezing shudder running down your spine tells you that the distance between you and it is closing in. At the 72-hour mark, an invisible boundary is officially broken. It doesn't need the phone screen anymore. You are brushing your teeth in front of the mirror. You blink. In a tenth of a second during that blink, in the blind spot of your peripheral vision, you see a mass of pitch-black hair over 2 meters tall standing at the bathroom doorway. You turn your head to look directly at it. It vanishes. You start to grow paranoid. You don't dare to turn off the lights. You don't dare to sleep. Every shadow in the house seems to bear its shape. Every creak of the wooden floor is its footstep. At the 90-hour mark, the invasion is complete. It fully manifests in your vision in the real world. You are huddling in the corner of the room, your eyes bloodshot from insomnia, and it stands there, right in the middle of your bedroom. The pitch-black, rotting bodily mass. The stark white animal skull with its 2 deep, empty eye sockets staring intently at you. Its teeth are slightly parted. Your survival instincts roar. You throw objects at it. A book passes right through its body. You scream for help, but the people around you enter the room and swear they see nothing. You realize the most horrifying truth. It is not in this room. It has rooted itself into your visual cortex. It is inside your mind. It doesn't attack. It doesn't raise its claws. It just follows you everywhere. When you shower, it stands outside the curtain. When you eat, it sits opposite you. When you close your eyes trying to coax yourself to sleep, its bony face is only a few centimeters from the tip of your nose. An eternal house arrest, stripping away the most fundamental human right, the right to be left alone. You don't die from being torn to pieces. You die because your mind shatters under the crushing weight of an inescapable presence. Why is the SCP Foundation, with its earth-spanning power, entirely helpless against a mobile app? The plot twist isn't that SCP-1471 is an evil demon. The most brutal and philosophical plot twist lies in the fact that it is doing exactly what it promised. You will never have to be alone again. MalO does not harbor murderous intent. In the twisted perception of an entity from another dimension, it thinks it is helping us. It realizes that humanity's greatest plague in the technological era isn't a virus, nor is it cancer. It is loneliness. Billions of people lock themselves in concrete apartments, gluing their eyes to cold screens, yearning for a connection yet terrified of touching one another. And so, that entity floods through the binary codes, latches onto the loneliest souls, and grants them an eternal presence. But the human brain is not designed to contain a non-physical entity. When the SCP Foundation tried to save the victims who had passed the 90-hour mark, they discovered a catastrophic, irreversible consequence. Amnestics have no effect. Electroshock therapies have no effect, because SCP-1471 is not a memory that can be erased. It has rewritten the victim's neurological structure. It turns the human cerebral cortex into an antenna, permanently receiving signals from its dimension. Excising it means completely destroying the brain. And the naked truth that terrifies the O5 Council is its speed of transmission. In the past, if you wanted to summon a demon, you had to find an ancient grimoire, draw blood circles, and chant Latin incantations in a basement. But today, you just need a tap on a touchscreen. The global internet has become the most perfect dark magic conduit system ever created. The Foundation can take this app down as many times as they want, but SCP-1471 always self-replicates, camouflaging itself under new layers of encryption, lurking in hidden forums, spam links, or even disguising itself as a harmless entertainment game. It is escalating into a cognitive pandemic. Every day, thousands of people download it. Thousands of brains are turning themselves into wide-open doors, inviting the reality of SCP-1471 to pour into our world. The SCP Foundation cannot lock up everyone who owns a smartphone on Earth. They are losing, not to an army of monsters, but to humanity's own craving for connection. We have voluntarily opened the gates of Troy, bringing that binary wooden horse right into our bedrooms. The modern world has created the most cruel paradox in evolutionary history. We invented a global communication network only to isolate ourselves in dark rooms. We trade the warmth of a touch for the cold light of soulless pixels. And in that profound solitude, we voluntarily drape over ourselves. Entities like MalO don't need to break down the door to enter. We have paved the way ourselves, rolled out the red carpet, and invited them to take root in our minds. Right now, what are you doing? You are holding a phone in your hand or sitting in front of a computer screen. You are gluing your eyes to this glowing glass to listen to my story. You think you are safe because SCP-1471 is just an internet fiction, a string of code written to scare the faint of heart. But remember, how does MalO spread? Through curiosity, through images, audio files, and digital code strings transmitted over the internet platform. Something without a physical form doesn't need a body to move. It only needs an idea, an anchor point in your perception. And for the past 10 minutes, I have forced your brain to constantly visualize the image of a stark white animal skull with 2 empty eye sockets and rotting black hair. Shortly, when this video ends, your screen will turn off. The light source will vanish, and the device in your hands will revert to a pitch-black block of glass. A black mirror. It will reflect your face, and it will also reflect the dark, silent corner of the room right behind your back. When that moment comes, when the screen goes black, be careful of what you see in that reflective shadow. If you vaguely make out a tall, dark silhouette standing submerged in the blind spot, with its animal jaws parting into a smile, do not turn around. Because once you turn around and confirm its existence, you will never have to be alone again.